King Von's sister would announce from his Twitter account on February the 11th, 2014 that he would be home from jail tomorrow, with footage of Von cutting off his ankle monitor and throwing up gang signs circulating online after his release. When he got back out, he would be back on the streets and involving himself in gang politics once again. His first tweet out was dissing the ops, of course. He would also openly wonder where T.roy went, as apparently his partner in crime had ended up in jail himself during this time. Also, upon his release, Von would also tweet at
I thought T.roy got killed while Von was in jail, though.
Names in the Chicago drill scene like Boss Top, Lil Reese, Chief Keef, E-Day, Rondo Number 9, and Capo. He would then go on to diss two people that he allegedly killed, Modell and Crack, but at least initially, it didn't appear that Von was able to commit any more acts of violence, because apparently, following his release, he would wind up on house arrest for a short period. But that didn't stop him from posting pictures of himself at home, dissing Tuka with a gun sticking out of his pocket. Pictures of Von with famous BD hitters like T.roy and D-Rose would circulate around this time, with the likes of Chief Keef even reposting them as a sign of respect for the most feared local shooters, with Von also sharing pictures of his crew to Twitter openly, with the caption simply reading, gang members. Von would also tweet about it being a very scary year for the ops, even tweeting disrespectful collages featuring photographs of rivals who had been killed recently. Von didn't care one bit what he was posting on Twitter, and honestly, it didn't seem like the police cared either. Von tweeted openly that he will
I think this is before police actually realized that these niggas is snitching on themselves. I think this is before the police actually realized, like, hold on, these niggas is on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram actually snitching on what actually happened. I think for a long time, police couldn't even, like, fathom the fact that y'all really killing people and really admitting to it and really bragging about it on Instagram.
Kill someone on St. Lawrence, promising to shoot ops in the face and kill them fast, dropping mocking tweets about people he had allegedly killed, like Modell. He would pledge to drop even more bodies, even tweeting that he was shooting as soon as he got off house arrest, and tweeting that he just got a new gun and he wanted to do a drive-by with it. Now, on March the 25th, 2014, GD rapper Lil Mark, associated with a crew called 051,
he
would
dropped
drop a
this,
song
boy.
called No Competition.
See, now this 2014, so this is right around when Sign the Streets came out. This is like when drill was like first getting like turned, you know what I'm saying? And 2014 was my freshman year of high school. So like, yeah, this is when like drill was like really cracking. I remember when Lil Mark came out with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I always tell y'all, I live super close to Young Money. Like Young Money hood is like literally maybe a 10-minute walk, 15-minute walk, a 3-minute drive from where I grew up and where I stayed my whole Chicago time. You feel me? And when Lil Mark, when he dropped that song, I remember being in school, like talking to niggas at the lunch table, like how long you think it's gonna take Lil Mark to get killed? You know that's Tuka brother, right? Like I remember talking about this shit, that the people, it's just crazy. Like I remember living through this shit and people like making videos and documentaries about it.
This would be a remix of Black Disciple rappers Lil Durk and Lil Reese's 2013 song Competition. Lil Mark would essentially use Lil Durk's beat to diss him and his OTF crew for glam rock. But it wasn't just Durk that was getting dissed. Lil Mark would diss numerous people associated with the Black Disciples, including people from both O Block and an affiliated crew of BDs known as 600. Lil Mark's song would mock OD Perry and J Money and see him rapping openly that he is a Black Disciple killer, as well as proudly repping his affiliations to his gang set 051 Young Money. This song made Lil Mark a huge target for both O Block and 600. And around this period, King Von would frequently tweet that he was in traffic, riding around the city, armed and looking for ops to kill. On March the 28th, 2014, Von would tweet that he was in traffic, tagging D-Rose, an infamous shooter from the O Block affiliated set 600, with D-Rose himself tweeting that the cops hate to see Von, T.roy, and him all together. Von would tweet gunshot emojis around 10 AM on the 28th of March 2014. And only a few hours later, that very same day, around 1:30 PM, it's believed that a large group of gang members were riding around in a silver minivan with Florida license plates, most likely a stolen car. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old Mark Campbell, aka Lil Mark, was at a bus stop on the 300 block of East 53rd Street.
See, now this is the type of shit
around 1:30 PM, 28th.
This the type of shit that I be saying, like, how y'all gonna blame Trap Lord Ross for pointing this out? So you trying to tell me that March 28th, he tweeted, yeah, King Von, little bitch, with a bunch of shot emojis, right? Tuesday, Chicago, I think this is the actual time, 10:01, because I think 4 p.m. is like maybe like was showing him the London time or whatever. So 10:01 Chicago, he tweets this the same day Lil Mark get killed. And
March 2014. And
like,
only
what
a
am
few
I supposed
hours
to
later,
think?
that very same day, around 1:30 p.m., it's believed that a large group of gang members were riding around in a silver minivan with Florida license plates, most likely a stolen car. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old Mark Campbell, aka Lil Mark, was at a bus stop on the 300 block of East 51st Street. It's believed that that minivan pulled up and a masked man jumped out, shooting Lil Mark in the head, with Mark ultimately being pronounced dead at the scene only minutes later at 1:41 p.m.
How did they take him? Hold on, what?
With Mark
maybe the university wasn't built, the hospital wasn't built yet in 2014. I don't remember.
Ultimately being pronounced dead at the scene only
why they take him all the way to 92nd and Stone
p.m. And that minivan connected to the shooting being found in flames at 6:30 p.m. that very night. It's widely believed that T.roy was the shooter, with King Von being present for this murder. T.roy even posted a clip to social media of him and his friends returning to the scene of the crime and filming, where King Von can allegedly be heard in the background of the car.
Hey, it's a 251st!
Damn, body down.
I was not gonna see you, bro.
Hold on.
Tweaking, bro.
Hold on, y'all. This is my clothing brand. I need y'all to go support your boy, okay? And supporting your boy with some pretty cheap clothing, all right? And you're gonna be fly and fresh as hell, man. All right, link in the description. Theory.us. Go shop. All right, y'all. So I went out my way to show y'all where it happened. So this is 51st Street. So this is, I'm pretty sure this is the green line, if I'm not mistaken. It's the green line or the red line. I think this is the green line, okay? So this is 51st Street. This is a main street in Chicago. Lil Mark got killed right here at this bus stop. Right here on the corner of 51st, right off King Drive. So I remember, like I said, bro, you know, I grew up on 53rd Street. So you take 51st to Hyde Park and you turn on 53rd. That's where I grew up. That's where my house was. Like, I lived there my whole Chicago time. So I remember the day he died, I remember coming down this block and seeing the police. And I think they had turned us around or something like that. Or it took a long time to get through here or whatever. My grandma lived right down here on 47th, right off King Drive. So I think I was like going that way in a car with a bunch of my friends. And I just remember all the glass being shattered. And I remember like seeing somebody die, but I didn't know it was Lil Mark at the time. And then when I think I learned later that day or later that week in school that it was Lil Mark. And yeah, that's a little crazy, but we're gonna get back to the video though.
Body down, 51st gang.
T.roy would tweet, "Call 'em, never heard of 'em," with a laughing face just 36 minutes after the killing. King Von would tweet just 42 minutes after the shooting, "Die why?" with a bunch of laughing faces, with this being a sign of disrespect to Lil Mark's gang 051 Young Money. That tweet was then followed by Von saying 051 better keep their head up with a bunch of laughing emojis. Then he says he lives for this, F the ops. And just in case there was any doubt about King Von being present for that murder, he would also reply to somebody on Twitter discussing Lil Mark, saying outright he just saw the murder, with King Von going on to tweet at other O-Block affiliates that they would be celebrating that night. Von was speaking so recklessly on Twitter, his sister would even tell him to go in the house, with the defiant Von replying to her with gunshot and demon emojis, then tweeting that Lil Mark's death was getting him attention from women, even going as far to say that Lil Mark's pregnant girlfriend might have cheated on him. Followed by another tweet a few days later where Von claimed that he leaves people dead at the...
No, he was singing a song. I think this the E-Day song. You on that bus stop just like Tuka, leave you under the seat. That's War. I think that's E-Day War. He was sweet. That's this lyric.
Bus stop just like Tuka. A tweet that's even more disrespectful when you learn that Lil Mark was actually Tuka's older brother. Yeah. T.roy would also tweet...
They used to call them... They used to run around... It was some niggas from Young Money that went to my school because, you know, it's right there. You got niggas from Young Money, 4-6. You got niggas from Old Block. It was niggas from everywhere in my school because all that shit was like around Kenwood. And they used to run around calling them niggas the bus stop brothers because they both got killed at a bus stop. It's fucked up, but I'm just telling a story. don't shoot the messenger, my guy, okay?
Saying you ain't got to ask who shot him, indicating that he was indeed the shooter of Lil Mark. as well as proudly saying that he was smoking.
They said it, the word around that time was, it was D-Rose and T.roy. That was the word around the city at that time. D-Rose and T.roy, the one who did that.
Marco. But Von and D-Rose weren't the only ones celebrating the death of Lil Mark, because Lil Durk, the original subject of Lil Mark's diss song No Competition, released just 3 days before he was killed, would end up making a trip to the very bus stop where Mark was gunned down, with Durk telling his followers that this was a very special place.
Hey, this bus stop right here though, this is a real famous place, you hear me? This is a real famous place, big. Hey, this bus stop, this is a real famous place, big. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because of all of the attention from...
You see, he said free THF TP, and we seen TP get killed not too long ago in front of his mama. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to know, like, how this shit get deep. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, it get real deep.
This is a real famous place, big. Hey, this bus stop, this is a real famous place, big. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because of all of the attention from rappers about this incident, Lil Mark's death became news beyond the local Chicago papers, with this killing taking place during the heyday of DJ Academic's War in Chirac series, where Academics would report satirically on the Chicago drill scene and the shocking crimes going on within it. King Von himself would even go on to rap about killing people at bus stops many years later, as well as on the song Exposing Me, where he says that he is smoking Lil Mark and Tuka. And Lil Durk would go on to do the same thing, rapping in the December 2014 track War with E-Day 600, also saying that he is smoking Lil Mark and Tuka. Now, it's never been definitively confirmed who killed Lil Mark, but it's widely believed that the two most likely hitters are D-Rose or King Von. But whether or not King Von actually did it, he clearly got a lot of gratification from just witnessing this murder, further fueling this strange bloodlust that he was cultivating around this time. If he wasn't the one killing, then he would at least want a front row seat and an opportunity to tweet about it. However, it would be the next murder that would seemingly be Von's most proud moment in the streets, because he would end up finally catching somebody who he had wanted to get for years, leaving clues on Twitter all the way up to the killing. And then, in an insanely twisted turn, not only would Von get away with the murder, but he would go on to appear in a documentary interview about the victim without anybody even working out that the killer that they were looking for was sitting right in front of the camera.
So this is another clip from Trap Lord Ross's whole, this is literally what I was just talking about though. Like, I remember coming down the street that day and seeing the glass, seeing the police, seeing all that type of stuff, but I didn't know it was Lil Mark at that time until like a few days later.
2014 would start bad for T.roy because on the 9th of January he was...
But this another clip from another documentary. This the T.roy documentary. So remember I had said that the rumor in Chicago in 2014 around that time was it was D-Rose who killed them and T.roy. Them was the two niggas that killed Lil Mark. So
on a warrant, likely due to being out on bond after the previous legal problems that he had already racked up. However, about a month later, T.roy would be released, and not just him, but also his right-hand man, King Von, with Boss Top, welcoming both home in mid-February. But at the same time, sending a warning to all of their ops, the O-Block's top shooters were back in the South Side streets. And the ops had reasons to be fearful, because only a little over a week after the murder of the innocent man Billy Sargent in September 2013, the O-Block and 600 Alliance had lost one of their biggest rappers, L.A. Capone, who was murdered on the 26th of September by members of 051 Young Money. The death of L.A. Capone, who is still considered to be one of the most charismatic artists to ever come out of the Chicago drill scene, hit 600 and O-Block equally hard. Together with the murder of J Money earlier that month, the O-Block 600 Alliance was thirsty for revenge, and that's exactly what they would get in 2014.
This around that time where, like, gang, you know how like YouTubers be pulling up the O-Block? You couldn't do that shit, gang. Like, this around that time where, boy, you had to really, like, because it was so many bodies dropping. Like he said, L.A. and J Money got killed in the same month, a few weeks apart. You feel me? I think when this shit happened, that was like, I don't know what month that was. Let me see.
The death of
what day he tweeted that shit.
Capone, who is still considered to be one of the most charismatic artists to have ever come out of the Chicago drill scene, hit 600 and...
Yeah, so this February. So think about it like this. February 2014, J Money and LA got killed. March 2014, Lil Mark got killed. Like, this was around the time where, like, bro, you like, nigga, like, you had to know what was going on, where it was going on at, where to go, where not to go. You had to really, because it was a real war. Like, Like nigga, like it was bad around this time.
Hard. Together with the murder of J Money earlier that month,
and it just kept going back and forth, back and forth.
Thirsty for revenge, and that's exactly what they would get in 2014. Because in March, 051 Young Money's biggest rapper, Lil Mark, real name Mark Campbell, would put out a scathing diss track aimed at O-Block, 600, Lamron, and all of the other Black Disciple sets who had formed an alliance in the Chicago streets. This diss song was called No Competition, and it was named after Lil Durk and Lil Reese's diss song against the Ops called
Competition. They dissed them
in the song, Lil Mark would diss numerous O-Block, 600 and other members from the alliance, and the music video would even include a clip of Lil Mark being on FaceTime with Lil Reese, making it clear that there was a deep animosity between these two.
What y'all on?
I'm dropping wise.
Alright. That AO shit. Uh-huh. What up? Out here. I'm on fast, boy. I been out here. I stay out here, boy.
The song itself made Lil Mark the prime target for the O-Block 600 alliance to get revenge. And on the 28th of March, only a few days after the No Competition music video was posted to YouTube, Lil Mark was standing at a bus stop on the 300 stop of East 51st Street, which despite the street number was about a mile away from 051's hood on the opposite side of Washington Park. While at the bus stop, a silver van would pull up and somebody would hop out, opening fire, hitting Lil Mark in the head and killing him on the spot.
This back then too, boy, when you seen a van, like that was scary. But this back when it was like a trend to like, I don't know if they were still in the cars or what, but it was a trend of like getting one of them vans, slide the door back, 5 niggas right there with guns, pop, 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 pop. Like that's what niggas was doing, boy.
Graphic images of Lil Mark laying on the ground at the bus stop circulating on social media in the following days. One witness would describe to the police how the shooter had an extended clip, but they were unable to see their face. Several hours later, the police would find the van used in the shooting about 2.5 miles away in the low-end area, but the van, which had Florida plates, was engulfed in flames. Once again, immediately after Lil Mark's death, while 051 members were paying homage to him, such as their most feared shooter 051 Melly, who would seemingly jump in the streets looking for revenge as soon as he heard about Mark's passing. Meanwhile, Von, T.roy, and other O-Block 600 members would begin dissing him relentlessly and insinuating their involvement. 051 were a violent set with a lot of enemies, and people from O-Block, 600, and THF were all celebrating the tragic news. However, even beyond the celebrations, one video would circulate seemingly showing King Von, T.roy, and D Rose from 600 together in a car driving past Lil Mark's.
Yeah, they say they was all in the car. They say King Von just ain't put a little trigger.
Hey, so took off 51st.
Damn, body down.
I was not gonna see you.
Almost